Just let me hear some of that rock and roll music. Any old way you choose it.
Hello, this is Katie with Vintage and Vinyl, and I'll be spinning some rockin' 50s records every week here on my channel, as well as sharing some cool Coca-Cola collectibles and other neat vintage finds. Stay tuned! Hey guys, this is Katie with Vintage and Vinyl, back with another great video for you today. In this video, I am thrilled to be talking about Record Store Day Black Friday. I had the opportunity to go this year, and I was really excited about my finds, and I can't wait to share that with you. But first, I have to give a big round of applause to our local record store, Young, Loud, and Snotty. They did a fantastic job keeping customers like myself really safe. I am immune compromised. I'm trying not to go out anywhere right now, and I really debated whether or not I wanted to go and participate because of my health challenges and everything going on in the world right now. And I said, you know, records really aren't that important. Yes, I would love to get Chuck Berry and Little Richard, but if it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen. And I have to say, I called around several stores, and I was just getting more and more worried that I wouldn't be able to participate. But Young, Loud, and Snotty is the store that I usually go to. I called them up and they said, yes, we're doing the ticket system. Yes, we'll deliver to your car. Yes, we're going to make people wear masks and have them stay 6 feet apart in the line. And I was just really impressed with that. And I'm so grateful to them that they were able to provide a fun and safe environment for everybody to enjoy Record Store Day Black Friday this year. So thank you, Young, Loud, and Snotty, for everything that you do to keep your customers safe. You really did a great job. It was well organized, it was fun, and I had a ball getting to pick up some awesome records. So I am so excited to share with you what I got. I can't believe I got this. This is just such a cool find. I wanted, of course, Chuck Berry and Little Richard, and they had Chuck Berry. They only got 2 copies. Now, there were 1,000 copies of this roughly pressed, and I was able to get one. Now, our local record store, as I mentioned, only got 2. Other record stores in the area I called didn't even get any, so there was that. And a lot of you guys were saying you didn't get them at your local stores either, so I was really lucky to get this Chuck Berry. Of course, I was lucky to get the 8 a.m. time slot, the earliest time slot that they were offering that day for the ticket system, because had I gotten a later time slot, the Chuck Berry would have been gone. So I am so glad that I got this. This is the Chuck Berry Rockin' and Rollin' New Year's Eve live recorded album from the Palladium Theater in New York City. This came out December 31st, 1988, and this is just such a cool record. I would love to see Chuck Berry live. Unfortunately, I don't have the opportunity anymore since he's passed, so it's really cool that I can listen to a concert through vinyl in my own living room, and this is just a really great album. So this is not a Record Store Day exclusive album. It was only a Record Store Day first press, so there probably will be more of these in the future. So if you didn't get a chance to get one of these this Record Store Day, there will probably be a second release at some point of this album. Now, one thing I noticed is that there wasn't a hype sticker on the cellophane, and I talked about this in my live video that I did live in the car from Young, Loud, and Snotty's parking lot. And it's not a big deal, but I just thought it was interesting that it didn't have a hype sticker. You would think that it would have had some sort of hype sticker. Of course, it wasn't an RSD Day exclusive, so maybe that's why. The other thing I noticed is it doesn't have a number on the back. A lot of records do that for RSD Day. They have a number saying that they are this many records out of how many ever they made. So like you're getting 1,000 copy out of 1,000 copies, or 5 out of 400, or whatever it is. But I just noticed they didn't have that, so I thought that was something neat to point out. And I know a lot of people have been talking about that lately for Record Store Day, as they've noticed that the records don't have that this year. And I don't know if that's just a few records or every record. I think it's probably different depending on where you are and what records you're picking up, but I just think that's an interesting thing to note. Now, I am a huge Chuck Berry fan, so this was like a really cool find for me, as I mentioned. I love getting to hear Chuck Berry live, and this really was a great album. With all live albums, I always worry that the crowd is going to overpower the main artist, and that is something that I've experienced on other live albums, that it's just kind of annoying. You get the clapping and the chanting and the cheering, and it overpowers what you're actually trying to hear. And I do like hearing that live experience with the crowd, but I don't want it to be overwhelming to the point where you can't hear what the artist is saying, or you can't hear the guitar or the drums. And I just felt like the person that mixed and mastered this did a really good job, because you can hear Chuck Berry really clearly on this vinyl. I have listened to both LPs. It's a double LP, and I have listened to it maybe 4 or 5 times now, and I am just really, really impressed with this. Chuck sounds great, the guitar sounds great, it's really a rockin' record, and it's fun to listen to. Chuck Berry is awesome live, because one of the things that he does so well is he changes the lyrics in the words of his songs for the live show. So much like Jimmy Buffett does in a lot of his lives, every song will sound different from live to live, because he does things slightly differently, and he plays the songs slightly differently than he does on his recorded albums, which I just think is so cool to hear. Because when are you going to get a chance to hear Chuck Berry live? You're not, since he's passed away. So this is a really great alternative to hear him live in your living room, playing a concert in a sense for you. It's just really cool. So this is live from the Palladium Theater in 1988, recorded on New Year's Eve of December 31st. And this is just so cool to hear. Now, I believe in my live video that I did from the parking lot of Young, Loud, and Snotty, I kept saying I must have needed a bunch of coffee, because it was early in the morning, but I kept saying that this was live from Libertation Hall. And that wasn't right. I don't know why I kept saying that, but it was live from the Palladium Theater in New York City, but it's on the Libertation Hall label. So that's what I meant to say. I'm correcting myself now in this video, but live from Palladium on Libertation Hall label. This is just a really good set of LPs. I love the graphics on the front cover, and then you open it up and you've got the double gatefold here. I love what they've done, the way Chuck Berry's kind of popping out with that really cool red and black graphic with his guitar. It just looks really nice, and I love that. And then you've got the back, you've got all of the tracks listed there, and then you've got, in a sense, a little bit of a hype sticker in a way. It has its own little write-up about the album here. It says, "Rock and roll wouldn't exist without Chuck Berry, and his musical brilliance is documented in this incredible concert recorded in New York City on New Year's Eve, 1988. 17 of his best-known songs, including Nadine, Reelin' and a Rockin', Roll Over Beethoven, and all other Chuck Berry standards you know and love." Now, this is mastered by Randy Perry and art direction by Mark Klumas and Blue Fond. I really like when they put that on the back of the album. I think that's just really nice. And this has some fantastic songs, you guys. Side 1 of LP 1 has intro, instrumental, Roll Over Beethoven, School Days, Sweet Little 16, Mean Old World. Side 2 of LP 1 has Let It Rock, Memphis, Rock and Roll Music, Key to the Highway, and Mojo Hand. LP2, Side 1 has Johnny Be Good, Tell Me You Love Me, Nadine, Around and Around, Wee Wee Hours. And Side 2 of LP2 has Carol, Little Queenie, and Reelin' and a Rockin'. This is just a great, great album. Now, a lot of these songs are ones that we all know and love from Chuck Berry. Obviously, there's Johnny Be Good, Rock and Roll Music, which is the intro to all of my YouTube videos, but there's a few that you don't often hear, which I really love. Round and Around is a great song. I don't know that I have that on any of my other Chuck Berry first presses. I'm going to have to look for that. I know that Little Queenie, I think Little Queenie, if I'm right, is just on Chuck Berry's Dozen Berries, which I just got that LP, and it's really hard to find in good shape, and I was really glad I got that. But it's so cool to hear that live because I love that song. And then you've got Sweet Little 16, School Days, Roll Over Beethoven. I mean, it's just like all of Chuck Berry's hits here. And they're really, really, really cool to hear live because he does them differently than you would hear them on an original LP. So I love that. This is just a really, really good record. If you have not found this yet, you love early rock and roll, highly recommend you searching for this online or go to your local record store. I don't know if they're going to have it. Again, it was fairly limited at 1,000. Not as limited as in the past where maybe there was only 300 copies of something, but still pretty limited. So I hope you guys can find this. I know they'll be doing a second release, I'm pretty sure at some point, because this wasn't an RSD Day exclusive. And I have to say, I'm really, really pleased with this album. The mixing and mastering was great. The presentation was really good. The only thing that I want to mention that I thought was a little bit disappointing, and it's not a big deal, it was something I was able to fix, is the record itself. When I opened it out of the shrink, one thing I noticed was there were some smudges on the album. It's kind of like the quality control at the record pressing plant wasn't very good because there were some smudges and some wear. It looked like it had been played before, although I know that it was in the shrink, so that wasn't possible. But it just, I had to clean it. I had to put it on my spin clean and give it a really good clean, which I would do anyway. Like you would with any record that you're getting, but I just thought that was a little bit disappointing as far as the presentation. And I listened to this, like I said, multiple times, and it has not affected the sound. There weren't scratches or gouges or anything, but that is a little bit frustrating when you get a new record and you want it to be squeaky clean, and it's not. So I just felt like the quality control kind of dropped the ball there. Another thing that I did really like about this is the label itself. It has kind of a chess feel, and Chuck Berry is all on chess. We all know that. That's the label that he was on, and it kind of has a chess look-alike label. I know it's not chess, but it's chess-esque, and I really like that attention to detail with the black and the white there, and I think that's very cool. So I love that. I think that's just fantastic. Great vinyl. I don't think that this is 180 gram, but I think a lot of people have been talking lately in the vinyl community about whether 180 gram is really that much better. And I'll have to do a video on that and share my thoughts. But I am just really, really impressed with this. I think it's a great album, a good pickup, again, if you love early rock and roll and love Chuck Berry. And how cool is it to get to hear Chuck Berry live? That is just really fun. So I love this album. I will be listening to it more and more. I'm so thrilled I got it. I heard another guy say as I was getting my Chuck Berry record, he said, "Oh, are there any Chuck Berry left?" And I heard the guy say, "I don't think so. I think that she got the last one." And so I was really glad that I got it. I'm sorry to the guy that didn't get it, but I was just thrilled that I got this because it was so limited and so fun to pick up. So I'm excited, and I'll do a future video on the Little Richard album I'll be getting. I'm just waiting on that to come in, so that's going to be really fun to share that with you as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed my Record Store Day Black Friday pickup and my Record Store Day Black Friday review on the Chuck Berry Rockin' and Rollin' album. I hope you guys got what you wanted out there in the vinyl community. Hopefully you found some good things at Record Store Day Black Friday, and we'll continue to support your local record stores. They need our support now more than ever, so it is very important to shop online if your record store is able to do an online ordering, or go to your local record store and see what they have and see what you can find to support them, because they really need us. Okay guys, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, we'll stay in, stay safe, and bend YouTube. Bye-bye now.
That's why I go for that rock and roll